As Paul said, my name is Brent Turvey. I'm a forensic scientist. I'm a criminal profiler. I've been working cases now for the last 17 years. Testified in about 38 death penalty trials throughout the United States. Work a lot of serial rape, serial homicide for law enforcement, a lot of domestic homicide cases in court. And my job is typically to examine the evidence, to figure out what the evidence says about the crime. I come in, I examine the evidence, I look at the statements of suspects and witnesses, and I compare that to the factual record that's created by that physical evidence, that objective record of behavior. That's my job. I don't get into anything else. I don't try to step on any of the investigative toes. I don't try to step on any of the psychiatric issues. My job is purely the crime scene, to figure out what that crime scene tells us about what happened and who's connected to it and what behaviors occurred there. What can the crime scene tell us about what happened? So, in my opinion, just to set this off, I don't believe the physical evidence in this case has yet really had its day in court. At the original trial, the medical examiner in this case, Dr. Richard Evans, initially opined in his report that the injuries he saw on the chest, the flailed victim's chest, could actually have come from somebody repeatedly hitting the chest with a hammer. He did have that opinion. And that's consistent with Vrooman and Benton during the trial of John Brooks. But at that same trial in 2008, Dr. Evans actually changed his mind and testified that the injuries probably didn't come from the hammer. That didn't make sense to him. A flailed chest, so perfectly symmetric on both sides, would probably not have come from that. Maybe they came from the rocks that were found in the truck bed. Maybe they came from him falling. He wasn't sure. All he knows is he doesn't think those happened necessarily at the time of death, and he doesn't think that those actually are necessarily resulting from a hammer. So this is the whole state's theory of John Brooks being the murderer. That's gone. Now that leaves us with Benton. And Benton striking him in the head and that killing him, that makes far more sense. Well, just the headlines from that. All right. Let me just summarize quickly. The state's case against Jesse Brooks is built on statements of the confessed killer and other self-interested co-defendants. Those confessions are inconsistent with each other. Those confessions are not supported by the physical evidence, and nothing reliable or tangible actually connects Jesse Brooks to any part of this crime.